Hello everyone and welcome back to the techystack channel. So today we are trying to explore one more interview question. So this is also related to some kind of link data. So I will show the input. So input has some data like it's a format of data table. So whatever the data is from this data table, now we can just convert it to the queue items. So queue items IEnumerable. So we'll try to explore how we can do these things with the help of UiPath. So let's go back to the studio. And as usual, the first step, which were read range workbook. So which is helps to read the data from the Excel file and storing into the data table. So let me select this file, and here my sheet name is summary, and I'm creating one variable which we call data. So there only I will store this my data table data. Okay, so this is done. So next I want to declare one variable which we call QueueItems. So for that I will use here get items. So I will create variable, then I will move it to this here. So get QueueItems. I will just go here and I will create this item. So by defaultly it will create a IEnumerable QueueItems. QueueItems. So I have created this variable which we call QueueItems, and you can go and check this under the variable. We can see this type is IEnumerable QueueItems. Okay, this is done. The next what we want to do, so we can go and take one activity which we call assign. So just drag and drop this assign activity and update this link query. So already I have designed this link query. I'm just copy and paste this link query from there. So before moving that, I updated this variable which we call QueueItems, and I have this query with me. Let me go and update query. So this is a query. So just I'm copying and go back to the studio and updating the query in. Okay, here what it will do now. So just whatever it did now. So DT is nothing but as a data table dot as enumerable. So if you want to do anything kind of hosting operations or whatever it may be, so we need to just convert it to as enumerable. So after this, I'm selecting this function. It will go with this row by row and adding this each thing as a new queue items. And we know that one. So a queue items storing with dot specific content. So which is dot equals to row dot table columns. So in the table we have this multiple columns are there. So for each and column having a different name. So this is a representation for that. So after this everything I converted into dictionary and looping to this function with the column of the column names and everything. I mean vice versa, columns and the rows. So once everything is completed, just I'm converting into dot to list. Okay, this query I will update it into the comment section as well. So go and refer if you want that. So just click on that save. So now we can see this there is no errors, and I will make one activity which we call message box at the end just for the checking purpose. So just make it as check. Okay, now I'm closing this input file and running this automation. So let me go to step into. Okay, so data has been read and it converted to the queue items as well. I'm directly checking this queue items. So now when you check this one, how we have this data, like when you are fetching the data from the orchestrator, so it's similar to like that. So if you want to get any specific item, for example, if I want to get 0, 0 means 1, the index will be changed. So 0. So and we can check this one ID, the name John. So whatever the data in the which is available in input sheet, the same data is reflecting here there. So now if you want to get this any specific content, so you can just go to there and update the specific content. So right now I need the specific content of ID. Just assume that I need the specific content of ID. Specific content of ID. So I got this data. So 101. So if you want, you can just convert it to the string. So if you're not given a string, also sometimes it will work. Sometimes if you need to give the dot to string. So this is a one thing which we need to aware of. So this is a way how we can fetch. I mean how we can convert the data table data to the queue items, which is in the format IEnumerable. Okay, IEnumerable queue items. Okay, this is done. So now right now what we done now? So we done in the format of pb.net. So this is here my code is pb.net. The same thing how we can do in this C hash as well. So I'm going this and create the new process which we called in the format of C hash. So let me go and I will select this path. So coding files, UiPath, and I will make this as a folder and creating the project name as C sharp data. So this is for my references I'm creating, and you can check this. So language is C hash. So I change this language as C hash. And once it is done, you can just click on the create. So it will change to the C hash. So previously, whatever we done in the format of VB.NET. So now the same thing we are doing in the C hash as well. So same as it is, just drag and drop this rearrange workbook activity. And here input file is there. So I'm just copying this input file and updating here this input file. Okay, let me create the folder as well. Just drag and drop this folder to this one. Now it's fine. So I'm selecting this input file. So which is nothing as the input.excel file, and the sheet name which we called summary sheet name. And again the same activities I'm doing. So just creating the data table variable, so which stores the data from the Excel file. And now here we don't want to take this as an activity. So let's go to there, understand this one. So when you see this VB.NET, so we can assign directly to the Linq query. It will work, no issues with that. Or else you can write this code as well. It will work. But when come to this C hash net, I tried to convert this to this like assign activity, but it's not working. So I tried multiple ways, but still it's not working. But anyway, with the help of invoke code, it's working fine. So if you want, you can try with the help of assign activity. It's your wish, so no issues with that. So you can just try, if you want, you can try that as well. Okay, now this is done. So let's go back to the studio, and here I am taking this invoke activity. Just I am drag and drop this invoke activity, and this is my edit code. Just copying the same code from this Excel file. Let me copy the same code. Okay, here QueueItems and DT nothing but as the input and output variables. DT is nothing but the input variable, and QueueItems which is called the output. So whatever the data is there, storing there. Okay, now again I'm same activity I'm doing this here. QueueItems, get QueueItems. I will tell you why I'm using this like this way. For example, sometimes what happen now, we are not able to remember the everything. So if you use this like this QueueItems, let me QueueItems. Okay, so sometimes there is a chance to forget this. So to avoid that one, so just go to this variables and we can check the same thing, IEnumerable QueueItems. So if you remember, you can go to browse for types and you can update. So sometimes, most of times, we are forgetting that, to avoid those kind of interaction in between. So this is one of the best approach. Okay, this is done, and now we need to pass this variables. So just go to this arguments and input. This is for the DT. Okay, so this is nothing but as a data table, and here I'm passing this data table. Okay, and another variable which we called let me, okay, QueueItems, Q it's caps letter. Okay, and you can take this as collections. Okay, and this is out variable direction, and here you can select this QueueItems which we created the output variable. Okay, and sometimes when you drop like this one, it won't come. So at that time, what we need to know, just click on that OK and go to these variables and just do like this as it is. So after this, you can go and edit that arguments, and you can click this drop down box. So then you can able to see this one. So right now for me it's coming fine. So sometimes it won't come. So that time you can go with that method. Okay, now I'm closing this Excel file. So whatever the thing we did in the VB.NET, the same thing, but here it just uses invoke code. And next what we do, I am using this message box. So drag and drop and click on this check. Okay, so everything is completed, and finally running this automation. and we can check. I mean, go with the step into method. So if I got any errors, I will get to know where it got occurred. Okay, everything is looks good, and I'm typing this queue items. So it got declared the list. So everything is coming. So we can see this ID, that specific content. We can check this is where is this specific content. Everything is converted. So this is a way how we can do with this from the data table to the queue items in the format of IEnumerable. And now you might be to get some doubt. How can I identify whether it is related to the C hash or VB.NET without knowing? For example, someone give to the project directly to you. You want to know whether it is related to C hash or might be VB.NET. So you can go with this, just drag and drop this activity, and we can check this one. Enter a C hash expression, nothing but this is entire automation which is going in the build of C hash. If you see something not related to C hash, then it's related to the VB.NET. So like that, you can identify that. So still, if you have any doubts, try to watch this video one more time. And at the time also, if you not be able to resolve this, so you can just post comments in the comment section. We'll try to help you.